So, thanks a lot, Anna. This was a very important point here. And of course, when we also talk about crew shortage, the industry cannot be without half of the world, I would say, the females. Yeah? So we need to, and everybody says in the industry, we are diverse. Yeah? We have Filipinos, we have Greek, we have Ukrainians, we have Russians, we have everybody on board. But the question is how are we also inclusive? Do we manage to get people together? So thank you very much for this important point. And let us try to move to the next point, or the first session of the conference actually. The topic is seafarer well-being, innovations in healthcare, connectivity, pre-boarding and support at sea. And the first speaker here is Julien Ledoux. Julien? Here, okay. From KV8, please come up.
Thank you very much.
Media Group, and you are going to speak about crew well-being and emerging global connectivity options.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
The floor is yours.
Well, thank you everyone, and my special thanks to Adonis for the opportunity to speak with you today. My name is Julien Ledoux from KVH. We are a leading provider of connectivity and content well-being at sea. And I'm going to speak to you about crew well-being in relation to the emerging global connectivity options. Now, there is a growing trend towards digitalization on board. We can expect the new normal for ships to be remote technical support, and operations as well are supported by Internet of Things applications, greater automation, and of course, crew well-being is supported by a variety of services. And through all this, there will be a need for fleets to be flexible whilst getting maximum value. Now, this hasn't always been the case. Crew well-being used to be more of a minor support in relation to global connectivity. Data first arrived at sea back in the 90s with Inmarsat fleet and fleet broadband. But at the time, it was really slow. We're talking dial-up modem speeds, and it was also very expensive. If you see here, it was $28 per megabyte. That's $28,000 per gigabyte. So to put it another way, if you had to download the movie, it would have set you back $100,000. So obviously a very, very bad idea. And at the time, data would have been used purely for operational needs, and crew may have had access to a few minutes of calls via vouchers. And we at KVH in 2007 launched the first small VSAT antennas, which was already a great progress as it increased the speed to 20 megabytes per second, and the cost dropped drastically to $10 per gigabyte. So using the same example, if you were downloading a movie, it would have set you back $40. And at that point, the crew would have been able to access a few megabytes per day or a few gigabytes per month, my apologies, but to share across the whole crew. And the speed would have been still fairly slow. So it's already a great progress, as at that point, they would have been able to go online, browse social media, for example, but it would still have been too slow to do other things like video calls or online streaming. And now, we've got the LEO revolution. It's 10 times the speed, 10 times cheaper. You can do everything you could at home with that sort of connectivity. So from a crew perspective, they now have access to video calling, online streaming. I mean, really, LEO services are amazing. It's cheap to install, cheap, easy, and the antennas are a fraction of the price of previous VSAT antennas. The data plans are very varied, suiting all budgets. We're talking 50 gigabytes up to 15 terabytes or even more of data per month. A cost as low as $1 per gigabyte. So it's really, it's suitable for anything you would do at home. I mean, 200 megabytes per second is twice the speed I get at home. So, you know, if I sound a bit jealous, that's because I am. So does that mean we're sorted? We've answered all we need for crew connectivity? Well, not quite. You should think of Starlink as a Ferrari. It's fast, it's cool, it's powerful, but it's a Ferrari without a steering wheel or without brakes. It's essentially, it's a data pipe that gives you all that data, all that speed, but with no guardrails in place. So what does that mean is if you were to, for example, let the crew access this data pipe without any guardrail, even though terabytes of data might feel like something you could never possibly use in 1 month, it actually goes very quickly. If you get 1 hour of streaming HD for 3 people, it's 270 gigabytes of data per month. And if it's in UHD, you can pretty much triple that. So as you can see, if you factor in the amount of crew on board, all that data can go very, very quickly if you don't have any guardrails in place. So what do you need to do? Well, first, you need to be aware that it's a great option. You wouldn't want to go back to slower internet speed. Same way as at home, you wouldn't want to go back to dial-up modem. It would be impossible. There are now greater needs for operations and greater expectations from the crew. So you should definitely go with LEO services, but you need to be able to manage it. First, of course, you need to connect that antenna to the network, to the units below, so everyone has access to it. And secondly, you need to take advantage of network management tools, so you can be sure that operational needs always take priority. You need to be able to block access to it during critical operations. If the vessel is going into the harbor, for example, you don't want anyone to be distracted. Beyond this, and importantly for crew well-being, you need to ensure that all the crew members have a fair access to it. As I showed in the example previously, the data can go very, very quickly if it's unmonitored. So you need to be able to allocate that pool of crew data fairly amongst all the crew members, but also importantly for the security of your network and of your operations, you need to be able to block unsuitable websites, block malicious websites, ensure that you don't bring in viruses or Trojan horses on your network. Now here at KVH we have a great solution for this called CommBox Edge. It does all of the above and more. Now what it does as well is it includes a security suite to increase your network security on board. And beyond this, it has also features such as the possibility to locally or remotely switch between one antenna and the other, because you will probably see vessels having a backup antenna or maybe 2 different LEO antennas. And you are also able to combine these 2 antennas to increase the speed if it was ever necessary. Let's say you're in choppy sea and the connection is a bit difficult on one antenna. You can combine both of them and ensure you have enough connectivity for your operations. Now we've got these points in place, we should also remember that online connectivity is not the all-in answer to crew well-being. You know, we are all social animals and we need interactions, human interactions. For example, think being able to provide a movie night for the crew or a karaoke night, anything that encourage them to mingle, to get to know each other better. And here at KVH, we have such a service called KVH Link, which gives you access to fully licensed and secure movies, TV series, music services, all delivered in a data-efficient way, so it's very cost-effective as well for the vessels. So in conclusion, these are very exciting times for the maritime industry. Things have changed dramatically over the last few years, and the arrival first of Starlink, but as well, other competitors are coming in the way. Think OneWeb, that is already available in most regions of the world. Amazon Kuipers has started launching their satellites. But you need to remember that these solutions has to be managed carefully. You have to ensure that operational needs always take priority. You need to ensure that the crew have a fair access to the data allocated to them. And you need to ensure the network security as well within your budget. And you should also consider to combine this additional connectivity with other services to support the crew well-being at sea. Thank you very much for listening.